Let's talk to Tony Birtley now, who's standing by for us just outside Brega. Tony?
Hello, Lauren. I'm just actually on the outskirts of Brega now, and there's a huge jubilant scenes here. Lots of fighters shooting into the air in a victory salute. I have to say it's a little bit confusing. We're not sure if it is all over, or it's about to be all over, or the Gaddafi forces have left voluntarily, or they've been forced out. It's a bit of a fluid situation. People are giving you different bits of information, but what is sure is the opposition have moved forward, further forward now. They've taken over control of the outskirts of Brega. The bombing earlier by the Air Force, Libyan Air Force, was centered around the university. You may hear the shots firing off now. That's in celebration. There's nothing else, no anger there. That is now over, we're told. There are a lot of casualties. We've spoken to a doctor who said 15 to 20 people have been killed and a number of people wounded. So we've got to find that out and verify that. This does tell us, though, that, you know, Gaddafi is certainly not finished. His forces are able to strike at will, and they're pretty well equipped. Now, whether or not the opposition forces here, who've got a lot of conviction, whether or not they've got any sufficient capability to push on and go to as far as Sirte is the place they want to go to and liberate, I don't know.
Tony, you were there when those Air Force jets were bombing the area. How long were they in the area for? Do you know how much bombing they actually managed to carry out? And are they still circling?
Well, as far as we know, there was 3 bombing runs. I mean, I saw 2 that I can actually witness. I witnessed. One was you could see the swoop of the jet, and it then came up, and then probably about 20, 30 seconds after, you heard the explosions, followed by the huge plumes of black smoke. More celebration fire there. And then he circled around, I think, because we were with a large concentration of opposition forces. They spotted us, and then they dropped a bomb. And thankfully, it wasn't a huge bomb, because these big bombers can carry bombs that are about 1,000 kilos. We reckon this one was about 200 kilos, and that landed about 60 or 70 meters away from us into the sand, and nobody was injured. So that was very fortunate. It is very, very confusing and chaotic, and there's a lot of information and misinformation going around, so it's difficult to get a complete handle on it, but it does seem as if Gaddafi forces have been pushed back or withdrew.
And you mentioned there that the noise that we can hear in the background is sort of celebratory firing. Are they getting more backup from other people who are joining them in that area?
Well, yeah, I mean, we're seeing lots and lots of people coming out of the desert, and they keep on telling us the desert fighters are coming. And we're just seeing more and more people with guns. There's a whole assortment of weapons. I mean, some of them probably deserve to be in a museum, and some have just come out of a workshop, you know. We saw one guy trying to fire an M40, which is one of these big guns, and he obviously didn't know how to do it. And then the recoil came back and basically really seriously injured his legs and upper body. So, you know, there's a lot of incompetence, if you like. These are not sort of first-grade, top-quality fighters. I mean, these are not trained professionals, and they're up against trained professionals. So what they can achieve if they have to go into a military contact, I don't know. But at the moment, I think sheer weight of numbers has probably forced them out. But you've got to ask the question, what was that force doing here? We're told it was something like 250 to 300 of his Khamis brigade, which is one of those elite brigades that Gaddafi has. And what was the reason of coming up here? It could have been sort of just to have a look to see what was happening. It could be the preamble for something greater in the coming days. We don't know. But I think with the Air Force, the fact is he still does have an Air Force at his disposal. That's incredibly worrying for the people here. The one thing they do want more than anything is an air exclusion zone. That would take away the threat from these areas, and certainly from Benghazi, which still is within striking distance. So I think if that is imposed, they'll be very, very happy and very relieved.
And just briefly, the oil installation is obviously key there. Who, in your opinion, is in charge of those now there? I'm
told, I'm actually just seeing a whole load of refugee people moving out, or they're fighters, I can't see from the distance. I'm told that the position is back in control, that they didn't lose control because this is some distance away from where the university was in the main fighting. So I'm just seeing 2 huge truckloads of fighters with guns just moving back here, and the firing is starting again because there's a celebration. So it's back in opposition control. For how long, we don't know. We were here 2 days ago, and we were basically underwhelmed by the lack of defences, and we thought this was pretty risky, and we were told, you know, the Gaddafi forces come in and infiltrate this area, and certainly they've done that with some sort of some force today.
OK, Tony, thanks very much indeed. Tony Birtley there in Brega.